Good evening. Welcome to QUT Web News.
Good evening.
Shock figures about Australian kids showing half our 10-year-olds are on diets, and boys are more likely than girls to have body image issues.
The year-long review by the Institute of Family Studies reveals 75% of 10 to 11-year-olds admit they've tried dieting and exercise to lose weight.
We do tend to see more children worried about their weight and body image.
And more boys than girls. 52% of boys had image issues, compared to 48% of girls. Nutritionists say the consequences of children crash dieting are frightening.
There's a risk that children won't get the essential nutrients they need for growth and development.
Children on crash diets is a relatively new trend in Australia. Promoting a balanced lifestyle and sports at a grassroots level may be a better alternative. And Brisbane's Lord Mayor today announced the first round of a new $10 million grant scheme to get more kids back into sport.
We can promote an active and healthy lifestyle. That's the best way of keeping a healthy body.
Funding would give clubs like Cricket Queensland access to the lighting facilities necessary for after-school sport.
If we could get those lit at night, we'd be able to get far more kids playing cricket.
Extra funding could also push down the costs of club sport, encouraging more children to pursue an active, healthy lifestyle. Kendall Wagoner, QUT News.
An estimated 5,000 Queenslanders dusted off their push bikes early this morning to participate in this year's Ride to Work Day. The nationwide event encourages people to enjoy the health and fitness benefits of pedalling to work.
Cyclists who left home on 2 wheels instead of 4 were rewarded with their efforts with a free breakfast early this morning at Southbank. Bicycle Queensland, which runs the initiative, encourage regular cyclists, first-timers and those young and old to commute using pedal power.
Ride to Work Day is simply a celebration of riding your bicycle to work, and it's about encouraging people who are regular riders to bring along a friend.
He says with a growing network of cycleways, riding is a safe, healthy and an enjoyable way to get to work.
It's sustainable, it's really cheap if you don't spend a lot of money on your bike. It's actually a lot of fun.
It's claimed the risk of heart disease and stroke can be reduced up to 50% by spending 3 hours a week in the saddle.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, it's a really good idea, and it's great and glorious weather. I think everybody should get out and give it a go.
No upkeep on the car.
And, no traffic?
It's way faster actually.
Yeah, we just don't have to wait for anyone else. We just get up and ride in.
With the fantastic weather, cycling is becoming more and more popular and sales just keep increasing.
Even if they're not buying new bikes, they're pulling their old bikes out of the garage and actually using them, which is good.
But there is a serious message from Ride to Work organisers.
You sometimes see sort of some bad behaviour from cyclists, which we want to deplore as much as anybody else. Cyclists need to obey the road rules.
One thing was missing from this morning's Ride to Work breakfast: the Council's City Cycle bikes. Bianca Britton, QUT News.
Bicycles and an alternative route may be an option for motorists when the Airport Link Tunnel's toll-free period ends tomorrow. But tunnel operators are optimistic that the $2.50 toll won't deter motorists.
The free ride is almost over. From midnight, drivers using the airport-linked M7 will start paying to use the tunnel. But the question is, will people keep using it?
I would if work would pay for my tolls.
Time is money. If it was part of my journey, I would use it.
For a trip from Bowen Hills or Toombul to Kedron, you'll pay $2. A full trip will cost you $2.50, while light commercial vehicles will pay slightly more. Increases in the future will be linked to the Consumer Price Index. Bris Connections, the operator of the $4.8 billion road, isn't sure how many motorists will stop using the tunnel once tolling begins.
We're not able to predict on a day basis. What we do know, we will lose traffic, and equally we're very, very confident that traffic will come back to the road as the free network congests.
Even though the tunnel is no longer free, operators are still keen to attract more users to the airport link before tolls increase next year.
Taxi drivers say they'll keep using the road regardless of the price.
People want to go via tunnel because it's time saving.
When Airport Link opened, the operators predicted 135,000 trips a day. So far, it's averaged 75,000. After tolling begins, only time will tell if there's light at the end of the tunnel for Airport Link. Taylor Bunter, QUT News.
Two former Queensland Rugby Union players, Geoff Bunter Shaw and Tony Shaw, have been inducted into the Wallaby Hall of Fame. They joined Francis Wally Ma as the chosen three for 2012.
Tony and Geoff are both former Wallaby captains who played during the 70s and early 80s. They say it isn't just their own performance which earned them a place in the Hall of Fame.
But this honour is not just reflective of us, but more so, I think, of the teams that we'd played with over the time. So, again, great honour.
And some advice for the current Wallabies ahead of this Saturday night's Bledisloe Cup test.
We've really got to have that step forward Wallaby attitude again in everything that we do.
Certainly, it's advice lock Sitalaki Tamani is keen to follow.
On Saturday, we've got nothing to lose. Just going to get in there and play our games.
One Kiwi fan is convinced the All Blacks will take out the hat-trick.
I have a number of friends going to the game on Saturday and they're really excited about it. We know we're going to win.
The grass is cut and the beer is stocked. Suncorp Stadium are expecting a sellout crowd of 52,500 people. But for those without tickets, Caxton Street is the place to be.
We've got probably 8 plasmas in the hotel, so they'll be all on the Bledisloe on Saturday night.
It's been 14 months since the All Blacks lost to the Wallabies. On Saturday, they're chasing a record 17th straight win. Caitlin Brader-Denning, QUT News.
International drivers took to Queensland Raceway today for their first hit-out in the V8 Supercars. Record crowds are expected at this weekend's Gold Coast Armour All 600.
This Ford Performance racing car is much bigger than what Willpower is used to. But with time trials starting Friday on the streets of Surfers Paradise, this Australian-born IndyCar driver has some fast learning to do.
They're a lot heavier car than the Indy car, and they have a little less power and so on. Not as nimble.
This will be Power's third time at the event. He says he wants to do a good job for his co-driver, Mark Winterbottom.
Just want to hand the car over to him with no damage and keep it at the front if he's qualified at the front.
Power's drive will be crucial for Winterbottom, who's desperately trying to reel in championship leaders Craig Lowndes and Jamie Whincup. Despite the target on his back, Whincup says he's feeling comfortable coming into the weekend.
Love the Gold Coast event. It's my home race. I'm only 10 minutes up the road from where the track is, so can't wait to get there. Fingers crossed we can finish the weekend in a similar championship position.
Whincup is partnered with IndyCar driver Sebastian Bourdais, who took home the Dan Welton Trophy for the highest finishing international driver at last year's event.
A total of 12 different countries will be represented across the 28 international co-drivers, 14 of whom will be making their V8 Supercar debut.
The cars will be moved to the Gold Coast tomorrow. Jake Duke, QUT News.
Good evening. Time now for the weather. The good week of weather continued around Brisbane today with more sunny skies and a top of 30 degrees. Let's have a look at the temperatures around the southeast. It was mostly sunny on the Gold Coast today, a top of 28 and a top of 27 for the Sunshine Coast. Taking a look around the nation tomorrow, and the cold weather is continuing down south. Partly cloudy with a top of 22 for Sydney, while Canberra should get up to 22 after a chilly overnight low of 3 degrees. The warm weather should continue up here in Queensland tomorrow, a top of 30 for Cairns, while Longreach and Mount Isa are going to be very hot with tops of 37 degrees. Looking ahead at the next few days in Brisbane, there should be some showers tomorrow with a top of 29, mostly sunny on Friday before some thunderstorms hit on Saturday with a top of 32 expected then. That brings you up to date with the weather.
And that's all the news we have for now.
We'll be back tomorrow with more QUT news. Goodbye.
Goodbye.